stinky VIP's a liar. NJPW's alive. NJPW's alive. NJPW's alive. NJPW's alive. NJPW's alive.
Definitely got to time that better. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, got a little bit of a countdown timer for the newscast now. I'll perfect it when I can. Oh wow. Whew. All right then. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACW newscast number 82. Even though it says number 81 on the screen, it's I'm still working on the. It's been a while, guys. Give me some cred. But anyways, I'm Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator, as always. And before we get started, I'm just going to make sure if my microphone is okay. So if you guys can hear me well, if you guys can hear me clear, just go ahead and let me know on the live chat. And we'll get started here. So I'll give you guys a couple of seconds here to catch up. If you guys hear any background noise, that's my brother, working on some epic beats. So make sure, I'll give you guys a link maybe, possibly, to follow him wherever you can. He's a pretty good producer. So let me see here. Let's see, you sound good. You sound good. You're good, fam. Mic is okay, Hakeem. Loud and clear. Alright, well, I believe you guys. You guys wouldn't lie to me, right? Right? Ah, of course not. Well, it has been a couple of months and weeks since you've heard this lovely voice amongst your internet provider. So, it's Hakeem Johnson, as like I just said, your HW commentator as always, and it has been a long vacation, quote unquote, to speak of. And I want to just first and foremost say I do apologize for being on another damn hiatus again when it comes to ACW. For those that follow ACW, those that know ACW, pretty much are aware or used to of hiatuses happening out of nowhere. And it's just the way it is sometimes, and just I've learned to accept it at this point. I'm sure some of you guys have at this point, but nonetheless, my quote-unquote vacation is over. I am back. I'm not gonna make any promises as to what dates will occur for certain events to come up, but I will tell you right now that all throughout this week, I finished recording, or at least I re-recorded and put some final touches on Victory that was supposed to come out in November. I have put my final touches on Victory, and I will let you guys know next week. I will let you guys know when Victory will come out. Is what I'll tell you. Okay, so just let me I'll let you guys know next week. I'll put it that way. I can promise you that. But anyways, while I've been absent, while I've been gone, I guess you guys have been holding down the fort with ACW in terms of its social media, because as I was surprised to know, and I was surprised to hear about a few weeks ago, we have finally done it. We have finally been able to do it. We have officially hit over 1,000 subscribers on the main YouTube channel, and for that, all of you have to give yourselves a round of applause. It has been a long journey. It has been a very tough journey to get here, but we have arrived here. We are here. We have finally done it. You guys have clearly, surpassed my original channel, African 15, when I did ACW back in the old era. When it was I think it was around 950 subs. You guys have completely blustered for to do that. So, I thank you guys very much for holding down the fort. I thank you guys for always believing in ACW, for sticking with ACW, even when you had every reason not to. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. You guys continue to be awesome. You guys are, in my opinion, you guys are the greatest fan base in all of virtual wrestling, in my opinion. You guys continue to rock, and for that, I do love you guys. Thank you very much for making me hit 1K here, and let's hope to get another 1K more. Why not? But ACW, it began in 2006, as everybody knows, and it has now reached to a certain point in its lifetime to where it has influenced a lot of other leagues that you see out there today. It's one of the last standing leagues out there from the golden era of CAW. It's been a wild ride. I've been doing this since I was in high school. You know, I just turned 27 years old, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing this since I was in high school. I think in fact when I was like a freshman even. So it's crazy to see how much I've grown. It's crazy to see how much ACW has grown. It's even also amusing to see how much the fan base has grown. The fact that I still have old viewers, and I have even new viewers coming in together to enjoy something that I truly love to create for you guys. And for that, I am truly, truly grateful for it. So, I felt I felt the need to do a newscast for this special occasion. Now, I will let you guys know that the next newscast, I will definitely let you guys know right now, the next newscast will be happening during WrestleMania week. And as a matter of fact, I will probably even be doing, well, it's going to be obviously a live newscast during WrestleMania week. But also, I am also having some other plans in the works for that special newscast that I will reveal in due time. But that will be the next newscast to occur right after this newscast here tonight. Just to let you guys know, so just mark that down. So, with that being said, let's get to it. Today it's going to pretty much be a chill stream. I know I've missed a lot of things for the past few weeks and months with you guys in terms of a lot of people want to hear my thoughts and opinions on a lot of things going on. I will be honest with you, I have really not been keeping up with since my vacation. But if you guys want to fill me in on things, that's fine. Just understand that I haven't been catching up with it. But not just CAW, also wrestling, music, movies, life in general. Doesn't matter. I know a lot of you guys got questions. So today it's going to be pretty much a chill stream. You can ask all the questions you want. We've got about an hour and a half for you guys to ask whatever questions that you guys want to ask me, and I will do my best to answer them. So I will let the live chat steer the ship, if you will, of this newscast, and we'll see how that goes. We will definitely see how that goes. Yeah, so with that out of the way, with that being said, let's see here. Just wait for you guys to catch up. I know the live chat is on a bit of a delay here. I've got a lot of things also, by the way, that I've got a lot of things that I'm planning in the future. I know a lot of people are asking me questions about, well, why does he keep posting hashtag Element? All in due time, all in due time. Just know that hashtag Element is still the par for the course, and you'll love me when I eventually reveal it. So, with that said, let me see. I'm going to ask some questions here. Now, some of the questions are going here pretty fast. If I didn't answer it, just keep asking them. Just keep reposting it, and I'll eventually get to it. So, let's see here. Alright, so we got, let me see, Looney Jeremy asks, so Hakeem, what do you think of the new titles coming to WWE? The NXT North American title and the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles. The North American title, you got to understand, like, NXT is only an hour-long show. Yeah, you got your house shows and your NXT takeovers, but essentially, NXT is a 1-hour show. So unless you're going to extend that to an hour and a half or maybe even 2 hours on the network, I don't see how another title is really necessary, because you can barely book for your other titles that are your primary titles. And that goes to the Cruiserweight title. I love the fact that they are overriding 205 Live to where you can use now the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles, an idea concept that was used in the last few months of WCW. But you've got to understand, it's not about the title per se, it's about how you implement it into the show and how beneficial it is to the people that carry them. And you see it that, it used to be that the man makes the title, not the title that makes the man. And it's a lot of titles that are being used to try to make people, and it just doesn't come off right. It doesn't really work for the most part. So, what do you have to do? Again, I've read the spoilers for NXT and 205 Live in that sense. If it works for what they want to do in the near future, then fine. I just have my doubts and my skepticism as to how they'll implement those titles. But that's what I will, well, we'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes. Alright. Portuguese asked, what are your thoughts on the WWE version of Ultimate Deletion? Uh, it was what it was. My thing is, it's a little bit too late. I think the Woken Matt Hardy, it's kind of past its prime at this point. I think its apex was when it was during in TNA or slash Impact Wrestling, and then you've had months and months of where the Woken Matt Hardy character was pretty much a non sequitur towards the product to where you're just now bringing this up. But here's the difference. The difference between the Impact version and the WWE version was when Impact did it, it was so bad, it was good. That was the charm of the broken universe, that it became something that we loved, and there was a backstory to the matches of Final Deletion and Total Nonstop Deletion and all those stuff like that. There were backstories to it. There were good stories that led up to those matches. Here, it felt like they just did it for the sake of doing it because it worked before, so they thought they could work again. And honestly, doing it for a match between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, when we've been long past that feud meaning anything, I think it was pretty much a desperate attempt to try to make something work twice, and going by the ratings from this week's Raw, it really didn't pay off. So that just tells me that the character has pretty much worn off, and I think it's time to just maybe move on from it or something. Like, maybe I don't know. I will say this: it got rid of Bray Wyatt, which was desperately needed. Bray Wyatt has been a non-factor for almost 2 years now, and that's even when he was the world champion. I know Bray Wyatt was world champion last year. That is something that when you ever do a wrestling trivia, if someone asks you if Bray Wyatt was world champion, I wouldn't blame you if you said you didn't know. But yeah, Bray Wyatt needs to be off TV for a while. I think his character is pretty much done at this point. I don't know if you bring him back as a new character or you just tweak the character a little bit. But we need a break from Bray Wyatt. We need a couple of months away from Bray Wyatt, so maybe he can come back fresh and he can have a little bit of a rejuvenation towards his character. Because right now he's really nowhere. It's really nowhere for him right now. So we'll see that direction for him. Excuse me, I'm sniffing a little bit. RW Jack asked, what new characters are you planning on getting for the next season of ACW? There are definitely certain new characters that are still coming into ACW that have yet to be revealed. You saw this season, well, before my hiatus, you saw this season, you've got King JJ from Yuri on Ice on the Impulse side, who's currently feuding with Kaneki Man. You got the Warden Hajime from Impulse as well, that made his debut a little bit. That he's going to be introducing a tag team coming up on the final Impulse before Victory, which I will also announce next week when that'll be appearing live. We've got a lot of new characters still left to go, so you've got Ikumi Mito from Food Wars, Shogugeki no Soma on the XL side of the Glamrex division. You just got a lot of things going on right now with ACW that we're just bringing in new characters to try to freshen up the rosters of Excel and Impulse to where it doesn't feel stale, I guess is what I would say. But yeah, there's definitely more to come in that sense. Let's see. Waiting for more questions here. Yeah, sorry, I have a little bit of ring rust. I have not touched the XSplit broadcast in, I believe, maybe 2 months, maybe? Drinking some Powerade here. Keep me energetic here. Let's see here. Hit Kid asks, Hakeem, what are your thoughts on the new changes at Impact Wrestling? Oh, I love it. I love it. I think Impact Wrestling is making a comeback. I really do think Impact Wrestling is doing a lot of good right now. They've gotten rid of a lot of the stink from last year with the GFW fiasco and a lot of departures, leaving, and such. I think they finally found their team that they've been looking for in terms of Don Callis, Scott D'Amore, and Ed Nordholm. Letting Ed Nordholm and Anthem do the business side of things while letting the wrestling guys in Callis and D'Amore work with the wrestling portion of things. What I like about it is that if you recall from a recent episode from Killing the Town, a podcast that Callis and Lance Storm do weekly, I remember Callis' his philosophy in terms of what he wanted to do with Impact was he wanted to be a hybrid of 90s All Japan Wrestling and ECW. So basically, from terms of All Japan, you would have your core wrestlers, you would have your core talent of people that you use to identify the brand. That's your Austin Aries, your Alberto El Patrons, your Johnny Impacts, your Eli Drakes, your Mooses, your Sammy Callahans, your Eddie Edwards, etc., etc. And then you use the ECW proportion. You use the ECW philosophy of hiding a wrestler's negatives, but really boosting their positives. And you're seeing it on TV now. I'm really enjoying Impact. I'm really enjoying Impact and what they're doing. They have their in-ring wrestling has improved greatly. I've enjoyed a lot of their matches. The stories have become even greater. The Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan feud is great. I'm enjoying the Austin Aries, Alberto El Patron feud. Su Yung just debuted last night on Impact. Brian Cage, he's having a little bit of a Goldberg streak going ahead of him right now. He's facing Lashley next week, and I believe that'll be Lashley's exit from the company. EC3 had his exit last night as well. A lot of things are happening right now with Impact that are positive, and you have to give Impact really some real credit. You have to give them credit that they are really doing a good job trying to steer the ship. And I think if they can just be consistent, make no big mistakes, continue to do what they're doing. They just got their second biggest, highest rating of the year for last night's episode. If they can continue that path, if they continue to have great wrestling, great stories, great characters, keep it consistent, and have a hook every week for people to want to be able to hook and watch, I think Impact Wrestling could not only break even on their business end, but I think they could be attracting back a lot of people that really were driven away from Impact for those last 3 years where the product was pretty much unbearable. I think Impact has a real good shot at doing something really cool, and I'm really interested to see what Impact does in the next coming months and to see if they are able to still correct some wrongs from the Dixie era and the Hogan era and the Jarrett era and such and such. So I'm really looking forward to that, essentially. Bradley asks, did you already talk about Daniel Bryan? Also, are you excited for WrestleMania? No, I haven't. So, as everybody knows, 2 days ago, Daniel Bryan was finally cleared by WWE medical doctors to be able to return to in-ring competition. And I assume that'll be his return starting at WrestleMania. The rumored match for him would be him and Shane McMahon facing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. My thing here is that, here's the thing, people need to connect the dots a little bit here. It's been known for a while, let's be honest here, Daniel Bryan has been cleared by WWE officials for about maybe a couple of months ago. It's that they were saving that announcement to boost the interest for WrestleMania, because Lord knows they need it. Lord knows they need all the interest they can get right now. So, but it's good to see that Daniel Bryan is back in the ring where he belongs. I'm a little skeptical in terms of how healthy he truly is, and that maybe one mistake could be that one mistake that permanently puts him out for good. But we'll see. His contract is up in September. I believe Daniel Bryan even stated that it's up on September 1st, which would be the same day as the Bullet Club's event called All In. So there's a lot of speculation going there. I do believe Daniel Bryan is still going to leave WWE come September. It's just that he'll be finishing out his obligations leading up to that month. We'll be seeing some dream matches. We'll probably see Nakamura in the future. We'll see Styles. We could maybe see Angle. You know, Angle's wrestling at WrestleMania too, so we might see those two go at it maybe for a SummerSlam. Who knows? The possibilities are endless, but we'll see what Daniel Bryan does and how healthy he truly is. Because my opinion was, I was fine with Daniel Bryan being retired because I didn't want to be selfish as a fan. His health comes first before my selfishness of seeing him wrestle. And that should be what every wrestling fan should feel the same way too. And if Daniel Bryan's that stubborn that he didn't want to do that, then that's on him. But I was okay with the fact that I got what I wanted from Daniel Bryan for all these years, and that my selfishness is not important compared to his health. So, you know, that's what I feel. That's what I felt. So yeah, we'll see how Daniel Bryan does. And in terms of WrestleMania, am I excited for it? Yes and no. I mean, there are certain matches I do want to see. I do want to see how Ronda Rousey does at WrestleMania in her match with Triple H and Stephanie. With Angle, by the way, who's returning in ring. He's making his WrestleMania return. It's funny. Kurt Angle's making his WrestleMania return, but it's not being propped enough or being given enough credence. It feels like this whole Ronda business is overshadowing that, which is a damn shame. But I'm interested to see how Ronda does. Um, I'm interested to see how the mid card titles are both triple threat matches. I want to see if Miz will retain against Balor and Rollins, which he probably won't. I assume that Rollins will win it. And then in terms of the U.S. title, you've got Mahal, Orton, and Rude. Um, I would give the title back to Rude, but I guess you're going to keep it with Orton for a while. We'll see how it goes. You've got AJ Nakamura, which is going to be a pretty much a show stealer here. I don't expect that to main event, though. A lot of people are saying Brock and Roman will main event, or possibly John Cena and Undertaker. But with the Sports Center hype and tease that is too that's too much to resist for the WWE. They might want to go with Rousey to main event with her match, but we'll see. We'll see. Cena and Taker. I would have loved to see that match 8 years ago. It's too little, too late. Cena's no longer a full-time wrestler to where his impact matters in terms of a WrestleMania win or loss. And Taker's streak has been long gone, and he's getting older by the year. So it's like that doesn't matter anymore. It's just it's a little too little too late with that match. But we'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes. We'll see. Um. And I'll talk more about those WrestleMania matches as we do the newscast for the WrestleMania week coming up in a couple of days. I'll talk more about that. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, no, a lot of people in the chat are saying that they want Nakamura and AJ to main event. It's not going to main event. And I know it's for the WWE World title, but that doesn't matter. It's if anything, it'll main event maybe the second hour or third hour, but it's not going to be the main event. They'll give that to either Brock Roman, Cena Taker, or the Rousey match, but it will not go to. It's not going to go to Nakamura AJ. No. And the reason and understand that the reason why they're doing AJ and Nakamura is to undercut New Japan's expansion here in North America with the Long Beach shows and what else they want to do in terms of Raw and Ring of Honor, and they're touring as of late. And plus, All In is going to be in September as well. So they're doing AJ Nakamura here at WrestleMania to undermine not only the Wrestle Kingdom 12 from 2 months ago, but because of New Japan's expansion here in North America. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that very much in mind. Waiting for more questions here. Man, a lot of these questions are like going by fast, and I'm just looking at them. I'm like, wow, I just have not done this in so long that it looks weird. Holy crap. To be fair to WWE, and let's see, Jeremy did say this on the chat. To be fair, they did give you a bone with AJ and Nakamura. If you're going to bitch about Brock and Roman, they did give you Nakamura and AJ. So, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't at this point, right? Let's see here. Who's watching New Japan Pro Wrestling this Sunday? I will be working, so I will be unfortunately not being able to watch it. I'll be sleeping by then, but I'll check the highlights and see how that goes. Let's see here. Man, this is clearly my fault. I just keep missing questions on this chat because it goes fast, and it's like I don't know what to answer here. Let's see here. See, this is the worst part about. It's the worst part about doing a live stream because I hate dead air. It's just so uncomfortable. Let's see. RW Jack, thoughts on WrestleMania heading back to the new Meadowlands Stadium in New Jersey next year? I don't know, man. Again, New Jersey again, dude, or New York again. It's like, Can we switch up the cities? Can we switch up, you know, the states here? Like Florida gets every WrestleMania. New York and New Jersey seem to get a lot of WrestleManias. You know, we're going back here to New Orleans this year. You know, we can go back to Atlanta or something. I don't know, like, or the new LA Coliseum that's going to be built up, or Las Vegas. I don't know. Do something different. I don't know. Jay Black, what's your thoughts on the Bullet Club civil war going on right now? I hope it means we're finally getting to the end of the Bullet Club. I am so goddamn sick and tired of the Bullet Club, and I'm just being honest. I've said this before many times. This is when Kenny Omega was the leader anyways. I am so done with the Bullet Club. I know that they're making the most money out of everything that's not WWE. They're the biggest non-WWE draw in all of wrestling. I get it. They're making more money than they ever have before. I get that. But holy crap, man. They're not even the best group in New Japan anymore. That goes to Los Ignorables de Japan. I'm tired of the Bullet Club. I don't think Cody Rhodes would be a good leader for the Bullet Club. I think he's somebody that just saw the Bullet Club's hype and latched onto the group, so that way he didn't look like a ex-WWE wrestler in the Indies, so he hooked on something that was hot to make himself hot. That's what I think. And I think him leading the Bullet Club would just be the antithesis of everything the Bullet Club stood for. I was a fan, and don't get it wrong. I don't hate the Bullet Club. I really don't hate the Bullet Club. All right, I really don't. I was a fan of the Bullet Club. I loved Prince Devitt's Bullet Club when they were actual heels, when they were actually despicable, when they were actually a group of degenerates. I loved the Bullet Club when Devitt ran it. I loved it when AJ Styles ran it for a little bit, although I can start to see the cracks when they allowed people like Jeff fucking Jarrett and others just joining the Bullet Club and all that. Once Kenny Omega joined, I was fatigued with the Bullet Club. I'm like, okay, alright. That's another Bullet Club for me. I think it's ran its course. But it's definitely run its course now that we're doing Cody Rhodes fighting for leadership, because now it feels like we're doing a storyline of NWO Hollywood, NWO Wolfpack, and it's like, we get it. You're trying to do Bullet Club versus the Elite here, because we know that you want the Young Bucks to leave too from the Bullet Club, so you can do that whole feud lasting the whole year. It's like, dude, we need to we need to figure out a way to end this story. You know, all the Bullet Club members have left. At least all the big ones that are not Tama Tonga, right? And Bad Luck Fale. You know, Prince Devitt's now Finn Balor. AJ Styles is in the WWE as well. Anderson and Gallows from the WWE. It's like all the really big stars that started the Bullet Club have left. So it's like, what's the point anymore? I don't know. Supercard of Honor for WrestleMania weekend is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega. That's going to be the big match. I'll be looking forward to it, but it's like, where do you go from here? And I'm sure Kenny Omega will just continue to team up with Ibushi, you know, with the Golden Lovers reunion tour. But you know, what else after that? You know, I'm hoping this doesn't lead to Kenny Omega eventually going to WWE, because I know the WWE, especially NXT, wouldn't do Kenny Omega justice if he just jumped in. The WWE can't just simply play Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All with every wrestler in the world. They can't do it. They have to make cuts. And, you know, with the rumored reports of Fox trying to bring them over to their stations and potentially buy them out for ownership, they're going to have no choice anyway. So, it is what it is. We'll see how that goes. Let me see. What are your thoughts on the Tournament of Power saga, Garak Weevil? Talking probably about Dragon Ball Super. It's had its ups and downs, the tournament arc. I thought Gohan's arc was pretty much a dick tease. I can't. I'm so fucking done with Frieza. Frieza, shut the fuck up and go away. Vegeta was Vegeta to the very end. Android 17 died, but then all of a sudden coming back. That needs to be explained by the next episode, because I was a little bit pissed off from the last episode that Android 17 just comes back. That was kind of bullshit. It felt like that was just a swerve, just do a swerve with that thing. But Jiren has been a pretty good villain. People will call him not a villain. Well, people will say, oh, well, Jiren's not a villain. Motherfucker, he tried to attack the people that were in the crowd last episode. He's a villain now, okay? And Goku, revealing his ultimate true power, shows the result that Goku has is that Goku, as long as he has people that he cares for, that has his back, he'll never just simply give up. So it's been a pretty much good old school pro wrestling feud between Goku and Jiren, if you will. And here's conspiracy theorist Takeem here, I think that this whole Jiren and Goku fight was a subtle diss to all the One Punch Man fans, and that Jiren was supposed to be Saitama in secret. Boom. Think about that. Think about that. Think about it, honestly, think about it. I've been formulating this for quite some time during my vacation, watching this arc. So there you go. Discuss amongst the chat, if you will. Jacob asks, "Are you gonna get more characters for the Glamrex division?" Yes, I am. The Glamrex division is gonna experience a lot of interesting changes, and trust me, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. What would be the bigger match in ACW? Naruto versus Sasuke or Trunks versus Sasuke? I mean, either one is big. Either one of them are big, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, as much as I love Trunks, and he's arguably the greatest world champion of all time, and Sasuke is well on his way there. I mean, we're talking about Naruto Sasuke here, though. We're talking about the biggest anime rivalry since Goku and Vegeta between those two, or was one of them. So we'll see. I mean, I would prefer either one, but we all know what the dream match is here, right? Bring One Punch Man to ACW. I wouldn't mind Saitama coming to ACW, but here's the thing, though. You gotta understand psychology in the sense. I can't just have Saitama in ACW as a regular, like, anime character wrestler by punching people, and that's it. Like, he's the Big Show. It's gotta be a reason why I bring him in, you know? But never say never, though. Never say never to me bringing someone like Saitama. It's just gotta be the right time, right moment thing, you know? Hope to see more Revy in the Glamrex division. I'm sure you probably will. Is Dragon Ball Super any good? The people that are saying that it was better than Dragon Ball Z need to calm the fuck down, because that's just a lot of hipster bullshit that people want to say just to be different and be rebellious. It's not better than Dragon Ball Z. It certainly isn't better than Dragon Ball the original. But Dragon Ball Super as a standalone show, I thought for what it was good. Because here's the thing, and people need to realize this. Here's the thing, people need to realize this. Dragon Ball Super wasn't meant for me, as a man that watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z back in the days, back when I was a kid in the 90s. It wasn't meant for us. It's meant for the new generation. Dragon Ball Super was meant for the new generation that weren't able to experience Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball in its heyday, and are able to just go and watch this and say, oh, this is cool. That way they can go ahead and watch those shows that we watched back then. It wasn't meant for us. It was meant for the new generation. For us, it's just nostalgia. We've lived that already. It's meant for the new kids, you know? So it's just something you gotta accept if you're not really a big fan of Dragon Ball Super like that. But for what it was, it was good for what it was. I would think that there's gonna be another Dragon Ball series to come out of this because of the success of Dragon Ball Super. There'll be another Dragon Ball series to capitalize on this. I mean, there's the movie coming out soon, anyways, about the original of the Saiyans. So we'll definitely see something of that nature in the near future, you know. Hakeem, what are your thoughts on Funimation wanting Goku in Super Smash Bros. Switch? No, I am against anime characters on Super Brothers on Smash. I'm against anime characters in Smash because if that was the case, they would have done it already. Naruto and Goku would have been already in there, and it would also seem like they're running out of characters to add, which they already are anyways. Because the last Smash game, they had the all-star lineup. You had Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, Pikachu, Ryu, Cloud, Bayonetta, you know, I said Cloud already, but you had the big names. You had Mega Man. You had the big names. You had the big stars in that game. There's no way. I don't see how you can top that even more. So, I don't know. I'm against anime characters on Smash, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, let's see here. What are your thoughts about the death battle between Kenshiro and Jotaro? I have not seen that yet, but I am intrigued to watch it because I'm interested to see how that battle went. Don't spoil it. Do not spoil it for me. I will check it out on my own time, but I will clearly see how interesting that is. That seems to be an interesting contest. Uh, hey Hakeem, your thoughts about Mark Henry being in the Hall of Fame this year? Well deserved. A lot of people are gonna shit on Mark Henry, and look, this year's Hall of Fame list is pretty. It's not the strongest. I'll give you that. You really got only Goldberg and the Dudley Boys that are really the main draws of this Hall of Fame here. Let's be honest here, and I guess Kid Rock for a lot of entertainment people, right? But Mark Henry deserves his spot there. His World Heavyweight title run in 2011 was phenomenal, and I will debate and argue anybody that disagrees otherwise. His Hall of Pain gimmick was awesome. Gimmick. He's given us so much stuff as well. He's been an entertaining character, whether it was by the Nation of Domination, Sexual Chocolate, his segments with Mae Young in China, you know, and just all the other stuff he's done. You know, his great acting that he did when he faked the retirement a year later, 2 years later of his Hall of Pain stuff. He faked his retirement speech to John Cena only to attack him. That was just Oscar-worthy stuff. Mark Henry deserves to be a part of the Hall of Fame ceremony, especially compared to others that have been to the Hall of Fame for the WWE. He deserves his spot, and I'm glad he's getting his just due, finally. Let's see here. Question for Hakeem, best wrestler to come out of Ohio Valley Wrestling. Well, if you're talking about wrestler, right? I mean, because if you're saying superstar, that goes to John Cena, right? I mean, if you're saying who was the best to come out of, OVW overall, that's definitely John Cena. That can't even be argued. But if you're talking about wrestling in terms of pure in-ring wrestling, I would say it was probably either here's three. It was three, right? And I'm only going by their in-ring skills from what I saw when I was watching OVW back then, right? It was either Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, or Nick Dinsmore, who became Eugene. But people forget, before the Eugene gimmick that he was saddled with, he was a great in-ring worker. Was Nick Dinsmore? So those three there were some pure wrestlers, some pure athletes in their own right. So I think OVW has shown that they have been more of a success than NXT. If you really think about it, they produced the future stars that you see today. They produced Randy Orton, they produced John Cena, they produced Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, to an extent Nick Dinsmore, Eugene, the Basham brothers. They produced a lot of people there at the time. CM Punk had his run there, which was widely considered one of his best there before he went to WWE. So I feel OVW was a better success story than NXT at the moment. Because think about it, if you really think about it, in terms of being a megastar, in terms of really carrying the company, who has really been a success in NXT other than maybe, let's see, and I'm talking about a pure NXT talent, not like a guy that was in the Indies and then went to NXT. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, who was really built from the NXT / Performance Center. There's really not a lot. I mean, I guess you can say Braun Strowman. I guess. But that's reaching. Your next heel turn in ACW, you should give that person the Gotch style pile driver as a finisher. I am a fan of that pile driver, so that's not a bad idea. What do you make of the Enzo release and the chaos behind it? Well, Yeah, this is a bit old, I guess, but here are my thoughts. Right? I think I think Enzo's a jackass. Obviously, I think there was something really wrong with the dude. You can just tell by his personality inside the ring and outside the ring that the dude seemed like a douchebag, and that he's kind of the type of guy you would steer away from if you really wanted to hang out with somebody. From what I understand, and again, I wasn't there, so I'm just speculating from what I saw from reports and such. But apparently, he forced himself upon a a woman that was with him at a certain night in October, and she's accusing him of raping her of that night. And I believe the real reason WWE fired him was because Enzo didn't report this story, this situation, to the company until 3 months later, and it was during the week that Raw 25 was happening, which got tons of mainstream media press, and it was the same week that the Royal Rumble was happening, and it was the same week that Ronda Rousey was supposed to appear. That was the same week of the XFL announcement. That week was basically PR week for Raw 25, the XFL announcement, and the Royal Rumble with Ronda Rousey coming in. And Enzo thought it was a smart idea to tell this company that situation that they knew would blow up that week specifically. Of course he was fired. He wasn't fired because of the allegations, whether they were true or not. They would have just suspended them until they got the confirmation. They fired him because they put WWE in a position where they had to defend themselves away from Enzo Amore and those allegations. Of course you're getting fired. When you're a professional wrestler, the first word in that phrase is professional. You're supposed to keep a certain decorum and certain conduct when you're supposed to be a professional athlete, and Enzo didn't do that. So of course he got fired. And I heard that Vince McMahon, from certain reports, just yelled at him to get out, because he was supposed to have a segment on Raw 25, and Vince just told him to get out. So that's on him. That's on Enzo Amore for not telling a publicly traded company that you, as an individual, whether you're falsely being accused or not, you're being accused of rape by somebody, and you didn't tell the company until 3 months later of that situation. No shit, you got fired. That's just. I stand with the WWE with that. I'm sorry. You're a publicly traded company. You cannot risk someone like Enzo Amore having that on your head as a company during that whole PR week of Raw 25, of the XFL announcement, of the Royal Rumble with Ronda Rousey coming in, also being on the road to WrestleMania, and you're having contract discussions with Universal to either stay or leave that company for your TV product. Of course he was going to leave. That's just... They would have been stupid not to. I feel bad for Big Cass, because he'll have to return and be a completely different character or person, because every time he'll come out, if he comes back, they'll be reminded of Enzo. So, anyways, that's him. Enzo was a dumbass. He looked like a dumbass. He acted like a dumbass. He talked like a dumbass. So, quack, quack, he's a dumbass. So, and look, if he gets falsely accused, if it's found out that he was falsely accused of rape, then that girl deserves to go to jail. That girl deserves to go to jail and face the ultimate penalty. If Enzo did, in fact, rape this woman and is found guilty, then I hope he rots in hell and is never able to see the day of light ever again. But that's independent from WWE now, so there you go. Out of all the colleagues you have watched over the past 12 months, what has been your favorite? Well, this latest vacation, I have been watching little to no CAW, but if I had to pick a favorite, right? If I had to pick a favorite, I think I'm more in tune to leagues like ACL and UCWL, led by led by Brad, led by Brad and Bradley and VPAC respectively, because they remind me of how I transitioned from the camera days of ACW to where we're at now. They're building their own fan base. They're building their own brand, using characters that you know and characters that you don't know, and making it their own thing. And I do appreciate when I see leagues like that that try to make it work for themselves. So I guess I would say those two in particular. But I enjoy a lot of virtual wrestling leagues that I follow and that I have followed for quite a number of years. Uh, let's see here. Waiting for more questions here. Let's see. See, I wish I could find just a few clips of those days during the shaky camera era of ACW, the quote unquote golden era of ACW. I wish I could find them. I'll tell you this: if I ever find them, I will definitely let everybody know that I found them first of all, and that I'm gonna upload them ASAP on the YouTube channel. I'll definitely let people know that because I want people to experience what how ACW started and what I had to do and go through myself as a young person just getting into CAW to where I'm at today with ACW. I just want people to experience that ride with me. So if I ever find it, I hope to I hope to share that with everybody. So what are your thoughts on Count Dankula getting arrested? Bullshit. Bullshit just tells me that the UK's fucked as a country that doesn't appreciate free speech. As I said before, somebody can call me the N-word and it could be a deplorable thing to say to me, but I would defend his right to say it because I like living in a country where people are afraid to say whatever people are not afraid to say whatever they want to say. How offensive or not doesn't matter, and you should be able to challenge that stupidity to be able to expose them with free speech. You gotta be consistent when it comes to that. I am very pro First Amendment when it comes to that. So I thought it was bullshit. It was a harmless joke. It was a harmless Nazi joke that he did with his dog, and he's getting arrested for it because apparently people want to put their feelings over facts, and it's just another factor in our society that continues to continues to be a detriment to everybody involved, unfortunately. Let's see. Thoughts on DJ Envy coming after Desu Samero? Well, look, here's the thing. I'm not really a fan of Desu Samero. I kind of find them corny. When they went after DJ Academics, even though DJ Academics brought that on himself a lot of times, I thought it was corny because they were clearly trying to gain some clout. They were clearly trying to gain some attention from DJ Academics because he is the bigger personality compared to those two because they're on Viceland. DJ Academics is everywhere through Twitch and YouTube and Complex. But DJ Envy, here's the thing: DJ Envy cheated on his wife, and it's public. Maybe don't cheat on your wife, or at least if you're gonna cheat on your wife, be secretive about it, and don't try to tell people about it, even if it is your friend, because you don't know who to trust with that type of sensitive information. So, but I mean, ultimately, don't cheat. That would be the best way to do it. But if you're gonna do it, at least be smart and secretive about it, or else you'll end up in ridicule like that. So, it is what it is. It's whatever. My country is screwed. We have idiots in charge, fully open up on it. Yeah, man, Brexit sound like a very, positive, optimistic thing for your country in terms of breaking away from the union, but, you still have a lot of people in your country that apparently feel like a offensive joke is more harmful than a bomb or a gun, and it's like, no, it isn't. It's like, if you can't, it's not my fault that you're offended. It's not my fault that you feel a certain type of way about it. I'm sorry, I don't care. I said it. Yeah. Now, granted, if I tell a joke, it may be funny, it may not be funny. It may be offensive, it may not be offensive. But I should be allowed the opportunity to say it. We're not debating about the integrity or the intent of the joke. We're debating about me being allowed to even say the joke. And I should be allowed to say it, right? But, who am I? I'm just somebody with common sense, right? And yes, we are all surrounded by idiots. Idiots. Sorry. Drinking Powerade here. Trying to keep myself energized here. Best looking title in ACW, a title you are really proud of you have made. Best looking title in ACW. I honestly think I think I want to honestly go with the Glamrex title. I mean, currently, right? I think the Glamrex title and the Intercontinental title from Impulse. I think those are the two best titles that I've made thus far. That in terms of aesthetics, they look great. And I'm a guy that's very creative. I like to be very creative in terms of what I like to make in terms with when it comes to art and that type of stuff and graphics. So when I do stuff like that, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I recall that in terms of the Intercontinental title, I had to redo that design like 5 times before I ultimately came to the final conclusion, which you guys see it as the Intercontinental title right now. But I had to do that 5 times, you know. So I'm a little bit of a perfectionist in that sense, right? Uh, See, also, Hakeem, I have said it a lot, but I would love to have a discussion with you about things since we share a lot of the same views. Yeah. I'm somebody that I'm definitely somebody that a lot of people would be surprised what type of views I do hold when it comes to like social issues and politics and life in general. I do have certain opinions that people wouldn't expect someone like me to have, and that's okay as long as we can be able to disagree um, peacefully and civilly, and still be able to be cool and understanding at the end of the day. So, I try not to talk about politics and life and social issues like that so much because it's so toxic. It's so toxic. Nobody can be able to just agree to disagree anymore. It's just I have to win here or I have to win there or I gotta attack this person here or I gotta throw an ad hominem there. It's like that not only gets nothing done, but it just shits the entire discussion to where we're back to square one. And it's like, what was the point of having the discussion in the first place, right? So I try to steer away from that at this point, but in terms of like I'll talk about it in terms of like with my brothers. I love talking life and politics with my brothers because my brothers are very smart. My brothers and sister, they're very smart in terms of their opinions and what they have to say, and I like conversating with them because yeah, I'll disagree with them on certain things, and I'll agree with them on certain things here too. But it's just a healthy conversation to understand where things lie in the social political spectrum of things in terms of not just the individual but the collective as well. So it depends on who you talk to, really. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm pushing for Dundays and all of colleagues. Hanada's the only one. What about the rest? I don't know. I mean, look, Shy Girls can work. Well, okay. All right. I'm gonna. Nah. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna spoil anything. You just have to wait till it happens, right? Let's see here. So we have more questions here. This has been a fun Q&A stream, by the way. I've enjoyed answering these questions and talking with you guys. It's been too long. Let's see. Let's see. Is the ACW GWM thing still going to happen? Yes, it will. It's just going to have to be obviously scheduled to a later date this year, but it's definitely going to be a special that will happen during Mania 5 weeks, so keep in mind for that. Will ACW join Virtual Wrestling United? Oh yeah, the group, huh? Funny thing is, that's D-Wall's thing. Funny thing is, D-Wall, it was supposed to be D-Wall and I that were supposed to be the forefront headliners of that Virtual Wrestling United, but I had other plans. I was just too busy with real life things, so I wasn't able to really fully implement it with D-Wall. But D-Wall's done a good job from what I've seen from it. So, I mean, and eventually I will end up there. I will eventually end up there, but you know, again, depends on the timing and everything that's implemented. So, but you'll probably definitely see it. Was there any plans you had before the JSA conflict? I'm assuming you're meaning like, did I have any original plans for that season before I eventually wanted to be just a JSA season? Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, yeah, I definitely did. And now that the JSA's in the past, I can actually probably talk about this now, right? Um, so yeah, one of the um, one of the original storylines, one of the original plans were that I was gonna have Broly, I was gonna have Broly be the Impulse World Champion for the entire season, and like he was gonna defend that title not just on pay-per-views or mega events, but he would defend it on Impulse, and he would defend it in house shows. But he would have like an undefeated streak of title defenses as champion. That would be a world record in ACW or whatever. And then Gohan. See, this is where this is where the Saiyan regime would still continue from the last season, right? And then it would lead to Broly. It would lead to Gohan challenging Broly at Animania 4 for the world title, right? Because what was going to happen was that the original thing was that Broly was going to beat Trunks at Animania 3, and Broly would have an undefeated title defense streak on Impulses, mega events, house shows, special events. It would culminate at Animania 4, where Gohan eventually probably wins the Rumble or something like that, and he would step up to Broly, and that would be the split of the Saiyan regime. Vegeta would be the one to side with Broly, and Gohan would, by default, turn face and would be the one to dethrone Broly at Animania 4, and Gohan becomes the world champion at Animania 4 as a face. And then the plan after that was that would have led to Gohan reuniting with Naruto for a DX reunion tour. But it wouldn't suck like the way the WWE did in 2006, but it would be a reunion tour between Naruto and Gohan on Impulse as DX. That was the original plan for my world title picture for that whole season. But then I went with the JSA. I went with the JSA storyline, which I was really interested in, and I was more interested in, and I was really more creative with in that sense. So yeah, what could have been, right? What could have been? I think Broly and Gohan would have been a great. I think Gohan and Broly would have been a great Impulse title match at Mania 4. It would have been a great feud heading into that show. Broly being pretty much Brock Lesnar but better. Vegeta turning on Gohan when it was Vegeta that brought in Gohan in the first place. But what could have been, huh? What could have been? I had another plan. Now that we're talking about it anyways, I had another original storyline, and it involved the return of Yusuke Urameshi back to ACW for Impulse. But I ultimately nixed it and just had him do an appearance as a Rumble participant on that season of ACW. But I'll maybe talk about that in the future. But yeah, that was Yusuke was gonna come back in ACW as well, but I'll leave it at that. Um, so one day I'm gonna just go in depth and talk about storylines that I've done in ACW throughout the years. I haven't even fully talked about the whole JSA storyline. Like, you guys are a smart, fan base, and I understand that. You guys are a very, very smart fan base when it comes to my storylines and what I do with ACW. But you guys missed a lot of clues and hints and stuff during the JSA storyline that I'm surprised people still don't get to this day. That I know a lot of people still go back and watch the JSA storyline saga, but people still don't get certain tidbits that I did in that JSA angle that I will one day probably go over and talk to you about, and how this was implemented and how that was implemented and yada 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 and this and that and this and that. We might do a special newscast maybe one day for that in particular. You know, who knows? So, let's see here. Let's see. Currently at my character place before I start, I got one more question. Should Edward Elric walk out with the Excel title a la CM Punk? What happens after that? Let's put it this way. Edward Elric, I respect Edward Elric as a talent. I respect Edward Elric for all he's done in ACW, but no one is bigger than ACW, and I will not allow even someone like Edward Elric to walk out with the Excel title in his upcoming match with Haru Gloria at Ground Zero. I am the founder and owner of this company, and I know a lot of people like Edward Elric. I know a lot of people love the way Edward Elric presents himself, but I will not have someone like Edward Elric come in here and take that Excel championship that has a lot of prestige and history and walk out with it knowing that it can show up on a different virtual wrestling league without my permission or discretion. That definitely is not going to happen. If Edward Elric has to just drop the title, if he were to win the title from Haru at Ground Zero, for instance, I would think Edward Elric has enough integrity and respect for what ACW and CAW in general has done for him that he would be able to drop the title to ACW on his way out. That way he can say he was he was the Excel champion. He was a world champion ACW, but you have to drop the title on your way out. That's just doing good business, okay? That's just the simple fact of the matter. Alright? Bret Hart, as much as a lot of people have a lot of their opinions about 1997 at Survivor Series, Bret Hart didn't do good business. Okay? Edward Elric didn't do good business. Bret Hart didn't do good business. And unfortunately, that resulted in the company taking a drastic measure to make sure business was done right. Edward Elric, for the integrity of the sport of CAW, for the integrity of ACW in the 12 years that it's existed, he must not be and I know he already is, but he should not be selfish and be egocentric to rob the fans, to rob the talent, and to rob everyone that's put their time, effort, and energy, not just to ACW, but to CAW in general, to walk out of that event and this company, if he were to win the Excel Championship, and not return it to us where that is our property. I would not respect Edward Elric after that. I would find Edward Elric to be a liar and to be no different than the people he wants to crusade against. That he wants to say that it's ACW management's fault. ACW management didn't tell you if you were to win that match for you to walk out with that title. You have to be able to be a better man, to be a good person, and to be a professional athlete to drop that title, to say, look, I won the title finally. I can now be marked as a world champion in ACW. But now that it's going to be my last day here in ACW, should I choose to leave this company and I couldn't find any reasonable way to stay with ACW, I have to do what's right for the business and for the company that helped me for so many years by giving that title back. I would hope Edward Elric does it. I would hope Edward Elric would be smart enough to do that. I would hope. I hope so. So, no, there you go. Let's see here. Alright, 6:35. I'll tell you what, we've got, maybe, I don't know, let's see. I'll give you guys 15 more minutes. How about that, right? I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. I'll give you guys about 15 more minutes to get your questions and comments in, your final questions and comments in for the night, and we will call that a live stream for tonight. So yeah, so get your questions in if you can. If you just joined the stream, thank you very much for doing so. If you missed certain questions, go ahead and go back and watch the stream. But just doing a live stream celebrating 1,000 subscribers here for the main YouTube channel, which I am proud of each and every single one of you for subscribing and following for all these years. I do truly appreciate it. After that entire year of after that entire fiasco of me losing my first channel on YouTube in 2008 and 9, thanks to WWE and Toei Animation. Fuck Toei Animation. So, be able to get 1,000 subscribers now after all that fiasco years back, it's vindicating. It's very vindicating, Let's see. Thoughts on 205 Live's new direction? I kind of hinted earlier, but I liked it. I kind of like it for what it is. They're doing the whole tournament thing, which is a good way to kind of bring back, some vibes from the Cruiserweight Classic a couple of years back. So, I appreciate it. We're getting Mustafa Ali against Cedric Alexander for the title at WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna pre-show anyways. It'll probably be in the pre-show, but hopefully they get paid the royalties. So, but it's a good start. We'll see if they can continue the hype, if you will. Who watched that live action Full Metal Alchemist movie? It was not good. I have not seen it yet personally. Without telling you too much, let me just say this. I was very adamant on not watching the live action Death Note, right? I was very, very strongly against watching it. It took my homegirl that I'm kind of seeing. It took this girl that I'm kind of seeing, whatever, that convinced me to watch it with her. So I was like, fuck it, alright, fine, why not? We'll see. And I watched it, and she thought it was okay for what it was. She thought it was fine for what it was. Me being someone that watched the original Death Note and was just looking at the details here, I was like, what the fuck is this? Wait a minute. And I'll say this openly while she's watching it. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why is Light being a pussy? Why is Misa more of an alpha than Light? Why is L black? And why is L acting like he's gotta be whining all the time? Why is Light's dad alive? What is this carnival shit? A prom date? Why does Light got bullies? He didn't have any what is this bullshit? So, for what it was clearly non-canon. The only thing that was good about it was that Ryuk was pretty much, I liked Ryuk's design in that live action, but yeah, not good. Not good. If you're a fan of the anime, yeah, it's not your thing. It's not your thing. Thoughts on WWE 2K18? I still have not gotten 2K18, and what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna just hold off until 2K19. I was planning on getting 2K18 last year, but that was around that time that I took my vacation, quote unquote. So I just ended up not getting it. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna hold off until 2K19, where they'll probably fine tune 2K18 and make 2K19 better. So I'll just probably get 2K19 until then. Uh, let's see. Before bringing in the Cruiserweight and Glamix title, did you think everything about a hardcore division? Yeah, I kind of did, but you gotta understand, it's kind of, I don't know, hardcore division in 2018 is kind of outdated in a sense. Like, I wouldn't mind it per se, but it's like, that kind of philosophy, that kind of thing is outdated. It's like, because, like, for one, almost every league has it anyways, and two, it just doesn't fit the realm of today's pro wrestling scene, so, never say never, but it was what it was. Let's see here. If you ever get 2K18, I made the ACW titles for you to download. Oh, thanks, dude. That's awesome. Tell you what, when I do get 2K19, if you want to make the ACW titles for 2K19, I will definitely download those. Absolutely. Not to sound too mean, but next time when you go on your hiatus, can you make a note on Facebook saying when you will be out and not make empty promises? Sure, dude. I will. I definitely will. It just that's a fair criticism. I definitely should have let you guys know that I was gonna be inactive for a while, and that I shouldn't have made certain dates to get you guys hyped up for something else and it became nothing. It's just, it happens a lot with me when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I do apologize for it. I'm trying to learn not to do that so often. Like I said, I can tell you that I am back from vacation, so no, Hakeem is back. So, but I definitely will in the future be better and letting you guys know about all that and such. So, let's see. What do you think of a GM mode in a WWE 2K game? I wouldn't mind it, but I don't want it to be like universe mode to where it's just random matches with random feuds. If we're gonna do GM mode, I want it to make sense to where you're the GM and you're building the show, and the shows you build have to be coincidental to what feuds you want, what wrestlers that you want. Like, make the GM mode like the GM mode you would make for Madden. Like, that's what I don't get. That's the thing I don't get. I don't understand why 2K 2K just can't make the WWE games if you're gonna have GM mode. Just make it like Madden. Just like, like treat it like, because Madden has their off seasons, your trade deadlines, who you're gonna trade in and trade out with your games in all 16 weeks, post playoffs if you're able to get that far. You can do that with WWE, no problem. I don't get that though. That's just me. Let me see. So it's why I got rid of the King of the Death match title and remade it to the open weight title. Yeah, see, it's it's something like the King of the Death match title. It's too passe. It's too. I'm not saying you can't ever have hardcore matches. I'm just saying, like, having a specific division and title for it seems pretty outdated for today's wrestling scene, in my opinion. That's just me. Hakeem, what are your thoughts on the Eagles winning the Super Bowl? I was fine with it, because fuck the Patriots. I will tell you this, though. I actually didn't watch Super Bowl this year. I actually went to work. I actually worked on Super Bowl Sunday, because that's how much of a fuck I gave about the Super Bowl this year. And quite frankly, that's how much of a fuck I gave about the NFL this season. It's been the most mundane, boring, least interested I've been in with the NFL in a long time. And, that could be that could be in part due to everything that's outside of the NFL. Take your pick with any issues outside of the NFL, but I just think there's too much football. There's too much football, and there was just too much, like, boring to just not good football either this season. So I don't know, but that's just me. If you're a Patriots fan, that's on you. I'm not a Patriots fan. As a Broncos fan, I can't stand the Patriots. Um, so. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles winning their first ever Super Bowl. Um, like I posted this somewhere, but I was like, you guys have to free Meek Mill now that you guys won a Super Bowl in your city, Philadelphia. It's the least you can do for him. So, um, do you watch urinating tree videos? No, it doesn't. No, that doesn't look like something I would. I don't think I would watch videos with a guy that's called urinating tree, but let's see. Goten is someone to watch out for. Hey, look, Goten's got a pedigree. Goku's the greatest anime character of all time. He's the general manager of Impulse. Gohan is obviously a former two-time Impulse champion, arguably one of the greatest ACW superstars of all time. And Goten, he's a former cruiserweight champion, so sky's the limit for someone like Goten. He's with the he belongs in a family of success stories, if you will. And you got the idiot Vince McMahon bringing back XFL. I think if you want, I think if you want to bring back the XFL, the right time was to do it now, because the NFL right now to me is weak. And if you want to be an alternative, if you want to be a competitor, I think bringing back the XFL was a smart idea. You do a documentary for the ESPN 30 for 30, putting it in a positive light, somewhat, setting the tone and stage for the XFL to come back. Vince McMahon stating clearly that there will be no WWE involvement like the last time that it was ran. Vince McMahon saying the XFL will come up in 2020, so that gives Vince McMahon and Alpha Entertainment and the XFL 2 years to prepare the structure and infrastructure and the talent and coaches and yada 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 to get everything set up. I mean, it could be another train wreck. It probably might be a train wreck, especially with Dick Emersol's son starting his own football league that he wants to do. That could be direct competition for the XFL. But I'd rather do it now. You got social media. You've learned from your first mistakes on doing it. Why not? Vince McMahon knows that his time in WWE is just about up, and he's moving on to bigger things. That's why he's been selling his stocks, and he founded his own company, Alpha Entertainment, away from WWE Entertainment. So there you go. What did you think of Justin Timberlake's performance in the Super Bowl? I didn't see it. I didn't watch Super Bowl, but Justin Timberlake to me is a great artist, so he probably killed it. I wouldn't be surprised. What are your thoughts on Okada's current IWGP title reign? I'm fine with it. It's just I know a lot of people were mad that Naito didn't win at Wrestle Kingdom 12, but you kind of realize now in retrospect that it made sense. But I do believe Naito's going to fight Okada again to where he will probably dethrone Okada. And it probably is going to have to be at Wrestle Kingdom 13 because the Ace never loses his title in New Japan unless it's at a Wrestle Kingdom, right? So, but I don't think they're looking at Naito as an ace, if you will. It could be for someone else. Or maybe Okada faces Omega again and Omega finally wins the title. Who knows, but I do see Okada losing that title before 2019. I'll say that. Also, Ryan Douchenoz is being a beta male again on Twitter. I assume that you're talking about Ryan Satin. Yeah, that fucking weak-ass, pussy-blocking bitch. Look, I heard the thing about him with Vince Russo, allegedly his fans insulting his girlfriend and threatening to kill him. And look, I don't condone that, right? I don't condone anyone. I don't give a fuck if I despise you or like you or dislike you or whatever. I don't condone anybody telling somebody, threatening, someone's livelihood or their loved one's livelihood. even if it is Ryan Satin. That said, Ryan Satin tends to be a drama queen, so you gotta take a lot of his claims with a grain of salt. I'm still weak that he blocked me, though, man. I'm still weak that I told that he blocked me. Because he was crying about the fact that Chris Jericho shat on him because Ryan Satin wanted to be a virtue signaling bitch when Chris Jericho uploaded a photo on Instagram with Guerrero and Benoit, talking about why was Benoit there. Well, I mean, the man was friends with him, so I would think he would want to have his own memory in his sense. And I was like, well, maybe you should understand that he was his friend and that he has his own way of grieving and his own way of holding his memories of Chris Benoit, and you shouldn't try to act like some virtual signaling bitch that is just trying to get clickbait and trying to get a story up there because all your sources now are gone because you're not Dave Meltzer. And he blocked me, so it's like, of course, that's the type of person that has co-opted pro wrestling today. It's always these beta hipster men and women that take something like wrestling that they made fun of us for back in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. They made fun of us for loving wrestling during that time, but because they want to be hipsters and they want to be able to co-opt something that is quote-unquote niche, now they want to be able to dictate the way pro wrestling is and kick everybody that loves professional wrestling out to where we can enjoy wrestling for what it is. Because I saw the question on chat earlier about the whole Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan incident, where Sami Callihan just used that baseball bat and hit Eddie Edwards' eye socket. Clearly an accident. Clearly Sami Callihan felt bad. You could see his face when he did it on that episode of Impact. It was reported that Sami went to Eddie Edwards in the hospital and profusely apologized to him, and Eddie and Sami were able to patch things up and think it was an accident. And gee, Pro Wrestling 101, why don't you turn that into a storyline, which is arguably the best storyline in Impact Wrestling right now. But of course, people like Ryan Satin, people like other people on wrestling Twitter that you can probably guess who they are, all these SJWs on Twitter when it comes to wrestling are saying, oh, Sami's a bad person. Why are they turning this incident into a storyline? That's how I know. That's how I know all these people are full of shit. That's how I know all these people are not true wrestling fans. They just want to be wrestling fans because they see something that they want to co-opt and make it their own. These people will swear up and down that they love Owen Hart forever and ever. But would they give Owen Hart, if he was alive today, would they give him shit for accidentally pile driving Stone Cold Steve Austin at SummerSlam 97 that injured his neck and made that into a storyline to where Owen Hart had a shirt that said Owen 316 says I broke your neck? Would they love Owen Hart a little bit less? I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't mind. I don't mind if you enjoy pro wrestling. I don't mind if there are certain things in pro wrestling that make you uncomfortable, because that's what pro wrestling does. It's supposed to challenge what you think of reality, at the same time escaping it. Okay? I don't mind where it's time to call out certain things in wrestling that are clear bullshit. Like WWE naming that Women's Battle Royal for WrestleMania the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, knowing Fabulous Moolah's history that has now come out and what she did to pretty much pimp her students back in the days. Fabulous Moolah was trash, and it was a good thing that people were able to call out the WWE for that, not letting someone like Fabulous Moolah get that kind of recognition. That I don't mind, because that is something that needs to be addressed, because that's one of the things in pro wrestling that is a dark secret that everybody knows but doesn't like to talk about. But then I see shit like this with Sami Callihan, a guy that didn't even try to deliberately hit him with that bat. And yes, you can argue it was a stupid spot. You can argue that it was a spot that didn't make sense, that it was something that Sami Callihan should probably not do in the future because it was reckless. But it was a clear accident. For anyone to say that Sami Callihan intentionally hit Eddie Edwards with that baseball bat towards his eye are nothing more than people that don't know wrestling, that don't love wrestling, and are people that want to try to change wrestling into something that is unbearable, unenjoyable, and unwatchable for everybody else that want to escape reality from your bullshit political and social policies, ideologies, and issues. Alright? I hate this shit. People are shocked that Sami Callihan took this incident that was an accident and made it into a wrestling storyline. People are disgusted with it, and Sami Callihan has to apologize for it. Sami Callihan doesn't owe anybody shit other than Eddie Edwards and Impact Wrestling. Those are the only two people he should be apologizing for. If Eddie Edwards accepted Sami's apology and Impact Wrestling was able to get everything situated, case closed, end of discussion. Every other fan should shut the fuck up. If you don't like it, don't watch it at that point. But to tell Sami Callihan that he needs to apologize to you, the entitled fan, the rebel without a cause, the person that wants to change wrestling into something else, that pro wrestling is art, it's not entertainment, it's not a sport, shut the fuck up. You're the reason why Raw right now is at under 3 million viewers right now. You're the reason why WWE has to go ahead and negotiate with Fox where they might just outright buy them out because wrestling isn't hot unless you're a wrestling fan. You're the reason why Impact Wrestling is trying their best to escape the rubble from past regimes and are actually doing good stuff with their company to where it's must-see TV now, but yet because you want to be followers and sheep, you say fuck TNA, lol TNA. You're the type of people that want to be able to give Ring of Honor, and NXT some benefit of the doubt, but you won't give Impact benefit of the doubt. I heard somebody say, why does Impact tape in advance? Are they so stupid? I guess that's the same person that watches Ring of Honor and NXT when Ring of Honor has taped over 2 months of goddamn content, and same thing with NXT. But Impact gets the rap for that? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? This is why pro wrestling fans are shit in today's era, because they always want everything that they don't want to work for. They don't want to be able to enjoy storylines anymore. All they want are just matches and matches and matches. All they want are matches that mean nothing or have no consequence, or they want characters that they want personally but won't relate to the casual audience, which are the audience that matters, that you want to be able to grow your audience for. It's just dumb. It's just stupid. I can't believe that whole Sami Callihan Eddie Edwards thing blew up the way it did. It disgusted me, the way that happened. We can't enjoy professional wrestling. We can't enjoy professional wrestling like it used to be. Sami Callihan is acting like what a villain, what a heel is supposed to be. And you people want to berate him and make him lose money so where he can't put food on the table for his family and for himself and a roof over top of his head. You people are the reason why wrestling is shit. And I'm glad Sami Callihan called your card for it. I'm glad that there are other wrestlers and other wrestling fans that called that certain section of wrestling fans out for their passive-aggressive SJW mentality, bullshit mindset, because you guys are ruining wrestling for everybody else. That's all you guys do. That's all you guys are about. You don't love wrestling. You don't like to watch wrestling. All you care about is the behind the scenes shit, the dirt sheet bullshit. That's all you care about. People don't watch wrestling for wrestling anymore. They just care about who's getting good again, who's gonna get put over, who's gonna get booked, what matches are gonna be this and that. And trust me, I do it to a certain extent too, but I don't do it every goddamn time. Have some goddamn decorum. Have some goddamn consistency. Okay? Because at this point, what is it going to be now? Because what is it going to be now? We can't... Is it going to be feuds? The only feuds in wrestling are going to be, oh, you have a title. I want to fight you for it. I respect you, but I want that title. That's boring. NXT does that shit. That's why I don't even watch NXT like that. Because that's what they do. Unless you're Ciampa and Gargano, that's what they do. I don't want to watch that shit. I want to watch compelling storylines. I want to watch characters that really grab you and give you an emotional investment, like any other movie or video game does for you. I don't want to watch people try to co-opt and try to gerrymander my type of entertainment in pro wrestling. Because just because you want it doesn't mean everybody wants it. There has to be a compromise at the end of the day. It's ridiculous. Like, holy crap, man. Like, 2010 was a bad year for the WWE, but it's almost getting to the point where I want those days back, because wrestling fans have not been this bad until that since, man. Even when the stories were shit, The fans weren't that shit though. But today it's just like Alexa Bliss can just call Nia Jax fat, and it's a fucking problem. That's what a heel's supposed to do. A heel's is supposed to make you not like them. You're not supposed to cheer for them. And I know the likes like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and who the fuck else, Brock Lesnar, are these heels that make you cheer for them. Those aren't real heels. Those are pseudo faces that try to be cool heels, man. At least when Hogan was being a cool heel with the NWO, he did despicable shit anyways, to where you wanted to see Sting kick his ass at Starrcade 1997. There are barely any heels anymore in wrestling, and here's Sami Callihan taking a clear incident, a clear accident, and is trying to make it a storyline to where he is despicable, where he is a piece of shit, where you can hate him emotionally. And you people want to cut him off the knees. You want to cut that feud off the knees. You want to cut that company off the knees because it's Impact. Of course. You got to be a sheep and just go against Impact because it's Impact. And I'd say the same thing if it was WWE too. Okay? The Miz is the greatest heel in the WWE today, and nobody will debate or argue with me otherwise about that. The Miz is the best heel in the WWE, and people want Balor or Rollins to win over him, when Miz has been the one that's been carrying that goddamn show Raw for a damn year now last year. And people want him to lose that title. So what? Raw's gonna have a meaningless title run again? What? So Balor can have that title to get this Bullet Club bullshit again? It's just ridiculous. I know I've been gone for a while, and I know I haven't been giving my full thoughts on things, but I'm just infatuated by people just attacking Pro Wrestling 101 when it's been the cause for so many times. But now we want to attack it because I'm an SJW and it's about me and not about everybody else. And if you disagree with me, you're a racist or a sexist, homophobic, yada yada yada, whatever ad hominem that they want to spew out of their mouth. Unbelievable, and it's ridiculous. I'm actually looking forward to Brock and Roman, honestly. I actually am looking forward to it. Because their match wasn't even bad at the last WrestleMania that they had at 32. I'm actually looking for, 31. I'm looking forward to it, actually. But no, you people will still bitch about it. Even though you got AJ and Nakamura anyways. Angle's back and is going to wrestle at WrestleMania. Daniel fucking Bryan got cleared and is probably going to wrestle at WrestleMania. But it's just not enough. It just isn't enough because it's Brock and Roman. Holy shit, man. Holy fucking shit. Unfucking believable, some people, man. It's that kind of bullshit that just ruins wrestling for everybody. Because you want to enjoy wrestling to escape reality, so you don't have to deal with the realities of today's world that's so toxic and just depressing. And then you have this certain section of wrestling fans that are so smug and are so arrogant and are so hypocritical and passive aggressive and with their hipster ideals that are just gonna try to make it their own when they were never fans of wrestling in the first place. They made fun of people like me, and they made fun of people like you that used to enjoy and love wrestling back when it was the Attitude Era, back when it was the Ruthless Aggression Era. They made fun of us, but now because wrestling is still a thing and it's a niche now, quote unquote, they want to overtake it, they want to co-opt it, they want to make it their own thing. Bullshit. We need to start calling these people out, man. We need to start calling these fans out once and for all, because if we don't call these fans out, it's only going to get worse for here. And it's going to get to the point where every type of wrestling, not just WWE, but ROH, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, CZW, all these other stuff, Evolve, Progress, ICW, whatever, it's going to get to the point where no wrestling is enjoyable, because you've seen it all, and what you've seen is unbearable. We need to start calling these people out. And if they call you names, if they throw ad hominem attacks like you, if they call you racist or sexist or homophobic or you're mean like this or you're a jerk like that or you're a piece of shit, ignore them, because that's all they have. They can't argue with you if you're a pro wrestling fan. They can't argue with you. That's all they have. That's all they can say. We need to start calling these fans out. Alright? I'm not saying you can't call out the atrocities of pro wrestling by promotion and by the entire industry in general, because there is a lot of them. There is a lot of black clouds in pro wrestling. I don't deny that. I'm not saying you can't call them out. But for God's sakes, are we just going to get offended for every goddamn thing now to where we just have to accept it? Bullshit. Start calling these people out. Start calling these people out. Because if you don't, they're just going to keep doing it to where they think it's acceptable, and it'll be too late to change anything. Do something about it. That's what I've been doing on Twitter while I was on vacation. When I see something stupid, I just respond on Twitter and say, look, you sound stupid right now, and I'm going to tell you why. Start calling these people out, man. Because if you don't, the pro wrestling that you know, that the pro wrestling that you love, is no longer going to be yours anymore. If it isn't already. Call these people out. Tell them why they sound retarded. Tell them why they sound stupid. And you're not a bad person for doing that. You just care about wrestling so much that you will refuse to let somebody come into your hobby and tell you what to do because they have a different belief than you. But, yeah. Whew. Alright. Well, you know, it's funny. Every time we do a newscast, I end up getting on a rant on something to close the newscast in some form. Yeah, so there you go. I guess I've been holding that in for so long that I need to say it, but I'm sick of it. I'm just tired of it. Enough is enough with this, dude. I'm not a homophobic. I'm not a racist. I'm not a sexist. I just love watching wrestling. There are always going to be stereotypes in wrestling. Okay, Jinder Mahal's a stereotype. Shinsuke Nakamura's a stereotype. But we don't actually think that that's what all Asians are, or that's what all Middle Easterns or Muslims are, or Indians are. That's not the case at all. It's just escaping reality from all the bullshit that reality gives you once in a while. You enjoy wrestling to escape that and just have fun and just laugh and cry and feel emotions. That's it. But it's just like people just want to be offended. People just are professional offenders. People just choose to be offended just to make you feel bad, and that's wrong. When people guilt you and take advantage of your emotions, I find you morally wrong. I find you a piece of shit, honestly. You know, I don't know. It's just, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. If I'm making a comment, like for instance, if I'm watching a match that involves Naomi and I make a comment on Naomi's ass, shut the fuck up. I'm making a comment on Naomi's ass. It's not like I'm going over there and trying to physically assault her. I just said, yo, she's got a nice ass. Because she does. Get over it. Or it's like, you know, like when Darren Young was still here, it's like, man, Darren Young is so gay. But it's not like, I'm not calling him gay because he's gay. I'm calling him gay because he's stupid. It's like, holy shit. Context, people. Context. I don't blame Sami Callihan at all, man. For those that asked that question on the chat earlier, Sami Callihan did everything right. I'm sure he apologized to Eddie Edwards after that whole incident. They cleared it up, and they turned it into a storyline. At that point, that whole issue's over. Us fans aren't owed a damn thing. And if you think you are, you're an idiot. And that's plain and simple. That's the best way I can address you as such. You're an idiot. You didn't get hit with the baseball bat. You didn't go to the hospital. And I'm sure Eddie Edwards will give Sami Callihan his receipt if they face each other again anyways, because that's the business anyways. But I'm sure they cleared it up. They don't owe you shit. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. And you gotta start telling these people to shut the fuck up. I mean, explain to them why they're wrong, but if they're still gonna keep going at it, tell them to shut the fuck up. Stop being offended. Stop getting so easily offended over everything. Stop getting easily triggered. Stop acting like the world is cupcakes and sunshine and rainbows. It's not. That's the harsh reality. Welcome to reality, folks. It's not nice. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if ACW went mainstream? Can you imagine the storylines I've done throughout the years of ACW? The storylines I've done in ACW throughout these years. Can you imagine it going mainstream and having some group of people getting offended over it to where they try to shut me down? I'll be damned. And that's my thing too with a lot of you colleagues as well, because it's going to happen to us eventually if it hasn't already. And that's why I'm so adamant about doing this now. It's gonna if you're a call owner, you know what I'm talking about. It's going to eventually happen to us as call leagues, because call is popular. It still is. But those type of people are gonna look to co-opt that too, to where you don't want to do CAW anymore, to where it'll be another dark period in CAW where those type of people try to dictate how you should do your own goddamn league. And I will be damned if anyone is going to come over here and tell me how to do my own league. I'll be damned if these group of unfun, mindless sheep come in here and tell me how to run my league. Don't let that happen to yours either. Because we need to enjoy CAW. We need to keep CAW intact. We need to make sure CAW lives to continue for everybody else and futures to come. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna try to co-opt it. They've already done it with pro wrestling. They're gonna do it with us too. We just have to be ready for it. We have to be prepared for it. Don't let them. Don't let them win. And I can't believe, and I said this during the JSA angle, but I'm gonna say it here: fight, fight, fight. You can't let these ideologues win, because that's what they are. They're not people that are reasonable. They are ideologues that are looking to change your type of league and your type of CAW. Do not let these people win. Period. Alright. I think that'll do it. I think that was a good rant for today for you guys. I think that'll do it for me here today. I see D-Wall's in the chat. D-Wall, I'll talk to you when I can later, probably next week or something like that. Yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you, D-Wall, when I get the chance. What was I gonna say? The next newscast will be during WrestleMania week. And as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to do a live newscast where it's going to be WrestleMania week, where we're going to talk, the whole newscast will be talking about WrestleMania and the events around it as the week piles up. And I'll probably have some special guests. I'll have some special guests to come in and help me out with this newscast. But I'm not going to make anything official, but I'll just iron things out. But I'm going to make this an important newscast coming up for WrestleMania, but that'll be the next newscast. ACW content, I will let you guys know the updates on that next week for sure. I'm not going to promise any dates in terms of those content. I'm just going to let you know the update about them coming up next week. So yeah, so it feels great to be back. It feels great to be back. I missed you guys. I loved you guys. It's time to get back to work with ACW. And make sure you guys don't forget that ACW is one of the best leagues still going today. And I continue to make that a thing. Before I leave, though, before I say goodbye and everything, I want to just go ahead and I'm going to do a moment of silence. For those that don't know, some that do know, but we had a little bit of a tragedy this week here in Sacramento. It's worldwide news. We had a young man named Stephon Clark that was unjustly shot 20 times and killed by Sacramento police this week at his grandmother's backyard. And as somebody from Sacramento myself, obviously, it kind of hit a little close to home. And I'll probably do a separate private video talking about my full thoughts on that incident probably next week. But I just want to go ahead and do a little bit of a moment of silence for Stephon Bell. I'm going to do it for a little good 20 seconds, so just do a moment of silence here. Whew. All right. Thank you very much for that moment of silence from everybody. Uh, Rest in power, Stephon Clark. Um, Condolences and wishes go to his family and friends and loved ones that are going through this tough time here in Sacramento. Um, you know, sad, sad. I will address this fully in the next couple of days on a private video here on the YouTube channel. But yeah, that'll be it here today with the newscast. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you guys for welcoming me back in the YouTube webs here, and I will be more active now. I will see you guys next week and give you guys updates on ACW related stuff. So until then, this is Hakeem Johnson saying for everyone here to stay cool. Stay cool. I'll see you guys later.